Hear that? That's the sweet sound of Minute Maid slushies at McDonald's, turning up your summer with every sip, slurp, and ah.
Get a small sweet peach, blue raspberry, or fruit punch slushie for just $2. Or get any size soft drink for $1. Price and participation may vary. Limited time only. Cannot be combined with combo meal.
You recording now?
Yeah, of course.
And when did you stop recording?
No.
Oh, okay. No, I was saying that. Oh, okay. Stop it. I'll get back into it.
Is it testing?
It's on now.
Okay.
Yes, it's on now.
Right. Can I test my mic, Big Mouth? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, wait.
See, look. We're testing.
We officially
recording?
Yeah, now it's recording.
Officially testing the mic.
Yes, we're officially testing. This is an official test.
All right. Okay. Test.
Test.
Rob, you want to test your mic?
I sound fine. We just listened to the first mic test.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Mike. What was your tipping method when you were drinking? When you were howling down beers?
You guys did a beer's an asshole. I'm taking money.
Yeah, I'm taking the money back. I know.
There you go. I don't like female bartenders because they tip monger.
There was a bartender. We one time we were in Williamsburg, and we weren't even doing stand up or anything. We were just hanging out at a bar, and Greg got yelled at by this lesbian bartender.
Oh yeah,
right. And
yeah, let me tell this. Go ahead, Mike. One time we were in Williamsburg, and we were hanging out, and I got yelled at by some lesbian bartender. So what happened was, Mike, because lesbians I've had an ongoing rivalry with the lesbians.
Yeah, it's well documented.
Right? You too? They hate us.
What? How do you get booked on Judy Gold shows?
So we'll get to that. Hang on. So I get two Budweisers, right? And I asked for a third one because my friend was a pain in the ass, and he just turned around. James, can we get a picture of Coors Light?
It was good. Great. Thank you.
Delicious. This guy loved it. He loved it.
He gobbled it down.
Yeah, it was so good. We had to take away the microphone away from him.
We should always get him Guinness pie.
We should always get him Guinness pie. Should get him a Guinness punch. Yeah, well, what happened was this little dyke turned around because I asked for a third Budweiser. I was like, "Yeah, can I get one more?" She's like, "Oh." So I'm like, what the fuck, right? So I give her like $15. This is $5 each. I didn't tip her because it's the first fucking round. I don't tip on the first round. You know, I'll get to you. So she turns around. She goes, "No tip."
No, she said, "Tip me, bro."
Oh, right. She said,
She called you bro.
She called me bro.
See, I should have told the story.
Right. She said, "Tip me, bro." And I was like, "It's the first round. I'll get you the second round." I just was like, "What the fuck?"
And we were all broed out.
Oh, yeah,
Greg's wearing his Yankee hat backwards.
Right.
I'm fucking man tan. Nah, I can't. You gotta fucking.
You know what it was?
You catch more bees with honey, Mike.
Right. Well, the thing was, here's what I did was, zombie. This was my move. I had a nickel.
Make the honey.
I had a nickel in my back pocket.
Oh yeah.
So
What you got in your pocket? What'd you have in your back pocket?
I had a nickel in my back pocket.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what I did was, Mike, I took out my nickel, and I put the nickel on the bar, right? I put a coaster over the nickel, right? So I was like, "Here's your tip," underneath the coaster, as we walk out, right? And then she took the coaster off. She saw a nickel. She was like, "Motherfucker!" Yeah, and we just walked out.
Wait.
I did it another time once.
Wouldn't she have known? Because
What?
I'm discovering some holes in the outcome of the story. Wouldn't she have known there was no way under the?
What do you mean?
You know, normally, paper money is kind of long. You know,
Even if you're full,
so if you put a
Yeah, no, I
coaster
know
over it. Thank you, James. No.
Yeah, no, I know that. The whole purpose was me putting the nickel over
Yeah, but wouldn't she have known there was no money underneath there, or very little?
So we're lacking in podcast quality.
I just.
Exactly. Mike. I did another time,
and apparently our listeners too. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, come on.
Grab a mic. The mic's over there. Zombie, go help him out.
Go get that. While I tell this story real quick. I'm gonna tell this quick story.
All right.
I'm sorry, guys. Thank you.
No,
Mike is officially joining us. He's on the show.
Hey guys, welcome America.
Yeah.
To the world that love us.
It's not that big.
Thank you, John.
podcast. Probably the most people listening up Williamsburg is hipsters.
Oh, hipsters?
Yeah, Williamsburg. Yeah.
You guys are hot among the hipsters.
Yeah, that's our target
Yeah,
demo.
but you guys aren't hipsters, though.
No, I'm more of a hipster now than ever.
Oh, you fucking sell out.
I'm that.
How do you even figure that?
Because I hate the movie Forrest Gump.
That's why. That's why.
I never seen it. I thought he was a retarded fucking idiot.
You really didn't? You see this
He is
movie
retarded. Did you see the movie?
You ever see the movie Hacksaw Ridge?
No, there's
Never
some
seen
movies I
Hacksaw
haven't
Ridge?
seen.
It's the same thing as Forrest Gump. Like they took the war scenes in Forrest Gump. They were like, "Fuck that, let's make it a whole movie."
Oh, movie's ridiculous.
Because the guy who played Spider-Man was in it. He plays like a retard.
He needs something to do.
I've seen a lot of shitty movies from Blockbuster when I was young. That's why, and all those video stores growing up.
Let me
Like
tell you
old B
something, Mike.
movies.
Everything's shit.
I haven't seen anything good in a very long time. The last good movie I think I watched was the movie Whiplash. I enjoyed Whiplash.
Did you guys see?
Gone Girl is very good.
Did you see
Gone
The
Girl.
Hateful Eight?
Yeah, I thought every Tarantino movie is really good for about 2.5 hours, and then that last half hour sucks.
I love that
And and not for nothing, the last 30 minutes of a movie is kind of important for it to be good. That's
right.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like it's the climax.
You're so like you want the end to come and see what's going to happen.
I want the end to come because the movie just gets so ridiculous.
The Hateful Eight was good too.
I know.
the Django Unchained was fucking
I think
crazy.
Django is great.
Yeah.
But once again, it's another movie. Like once they kill off DiCaprio, right? They kill him in the movie. Then the movie goes to shit.
No,
after that.
you know why? It started to be too many gunfights.
Yeah,
after that.
right.
It's like,
It just gets so over. It's
just
so
to
over the
shoot 'em
top.
up.
It's the same thing. Even I was watching Inglourious Bastards recently, and like the end is so ridiculous. The movie theater goes on fire. Right at the end,
yeah.
is that
Oh, yeah.
that's what happens? Right?
But I thought that
Yes.
at the end he shot that guy with him, right?
And they also
But that's not the true ending. Because the true, I mean, yes, it's the climax, but the true ending is when they get Colonel what's it called, the Jew hunter in the woods,
Christian
and they,
Waltz?
and they carve the swastika. in his
Gotcha.
head. That's really the true ending.
he shoot the guy with him, right? He goes, "Why'd you shoot him?"
Right.
shot the young guy.
That's the first. What Fassbender and Christoph Waltz. That's their first movies, right? That's the first
He's
time we've
fucking
seen them.
insane. I love Waltz.
Yeah.
He's a great actor.
He got 3 Oscars or 2.
He's two. He
He was nominated.
Tarantino movie.
Right? Yeah. Okay. He's got
People
2.
must hate him walking down the street after seeing him villains he plays, right?
Oh man! Well, he plays the
Well,
villain.
he's pretty likable in Django.
Yeah, he plays the villain
But-
in Inglourious Basterds.
He also plays the villain in the
Django, he plays
James
the
Bond movies. He's James
but
Bond.
I like Django was a great character. Like
Django was great.
Samuel Jackson fucking takes those guys out of the back of the wagon.
Did you watch Baby Driver? Did
No.
you ever see that?
I haven't
Okay,
seen that.
It's on demand now. I put it on. The only thing is Kevin Spacey's in it, and I can't get
They
past
still
it.
release his movies?
Well, this came out 2017, and actually, he is actually coming out with a movie this year.
Wow.
Right? They're releasing a movie that he stars in, and the name of the movie is $1 Billion Boys Club. That's the name of it.
Right.
I'm not.
It's Hellronic.
I'm not fucking making it up. The
No,
name of the movie.
Hellronic.
Yeah, like,
Crazy, right?
but you would think the studio would be like, this is the most retarded thing we could ever do.
Yeah.
We have this fucking Kevin Spacey, an outed kid diddler.
Yeah.
He's going to star in a movie with the word boys in the title of it. Like, do you think anyone is going to actually go? The only people going to be at that fucking the people who go into the movies are fucking people who haven't read the story.
Yeah, but
The-
you know what, though? The movie
yeah.
studios love fucking media bullshit, really.
I'll tell you the last great movie I watched. It was a documentary called The 7-5. You ever see that?
What's
I think I might have seen
With
you
the crooked cops, Mike Dowd. He was from Long Island. What neighborhood in Long Island was that? We
I don't-
played the gig.
Oh, this was a mafia. Those
shit.
guys,
not
right?
not Eppolito and Carrick, whatever the fuck
those
his name
guys,
is.
no.
Stuff
Not
like
those scumbags.
They were scumbags, that's
yeah,
right.
because these guys.
Massapequa.
Massapequa, and this guy Mike Dowd worked for the 7-5 precinct when he was like in his 20s. He was a cop. He was dirty. He was filthy.
Right.
And throughout the entire 80s and early 90s, the guy was like just ripping off drug dealers and shit.
Right.
But as a cop. And then he had this guy, his partner, Ken Urell, his name is.
Yeah, that's his name.
And the two of them, they were like the mafia cops, but they were even worse because they weren't working for any. Well, they were working for drug dealers, but they weren't. They were, I guess, yeah. I don't know what was worse.
I would
Because they
say
actually the mafia cops did murders. These guys apparently didn't murder anyone.
Well,
They didn't cover it in the document. I would say they're worse because they were working for non-Italians.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
They work for
working for real
Dominicans.
psychos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you were joking, but I took that very
I
seriously.
know, yeah, so
You're right.
Yeah.
They worked for Animales.
But they had this guy, Mike.
You tried that.
They had this guy,
Then
Adam.
they called the fucking
Right.
like who fucking idiot.
They had this guy,
Right?
Adam Diaz, though, this Dominican
Oh, he's
guy.
great.
His
Yeah.
first words in the documentary was, his like first scene was, and he speaks like he's like, you know, he's like, yeah, he's like, I dealt drugs, yeah, I dealt drugs, and he just tells a story. He goes, this guy he was a pussy. He wasn't gangster like me. But his sister, I was fucking the shit out of her. That was his first words.
That's the first time we're introduced to him.
First
then
words.
they show a flashback photo of him, and he has the longest unibrow.
Big unibrow.
Yeah.
and he has this, and they show the sister just like after. I mean, they blocked out her face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she probably looked like Sammy Sosa.
She probably look like Sammy Sosa with a fucking yeast infection.
Who knows, you know? But that guy is the classic character. He was great throughout the entire movie. Every scene was like he was classic.
But that's also a documentary. To turn around and say like that's the last great movie you watched. You're talking about a documentary. Like I'm talking about
Just
like
the story, though.
It's a great film. Don't get me wrong. But I'm talking about like one of these movies that's come out in like the last 10. The movies this decade haven't been good.
Right.
There hasn't. It's not the same. Even last decade, the movies weren't. Comedies were great. I think 2000s the comedy films were awesome.
What was the last great gangster movie made?
The subject is so. I mean, the last good one I watched was The Iceman. Michael Shannon, really good.
That was real shit that happened.
Yeah,
right?
the Kalinsky murders.
Yeah.
Didn't he admit to? He admitted to knowing where Jimmy Hoffa was buried, right?
He was one of the suspects because he murdered so many people, but he wasn't the guy who murdered. Yeah, for a while people thought he was. The guy,
yeah.
But he said he also knew where he was, which could have been possible because he worked for the Mayo.
Oh yeah, those guys were killing people like crazy.
So it could have been possible he knew. A lot of people said they knew where Hoffa was.
Probably the mob guys probably did. I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, what happened was they led him to a house. And Sheehan and Anthony Provenza, the two gangsters.
Provenzano, is that
Tony Pro?
Yeah.
Stephen Graham's going to play him in The Irishman. They led him into a house, and Frank Sheehan popped him back of the head, and they just disposed the body. They fucking burnt them up.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Is there any chance?
Sure.
Do you think?
But
do you think there's?
I know he is. So.
Do you think there's any chance that Hoffa wasn't murdered? Like maybe they hit him or something like that. He was definitely murdered. Okay.
Yeah, but somebody said that I heard when they killed him, they took him to a junkyard and crushed him up in the car.
Really?
Right. That's
possible, right?
That's a rumor. But what really happened was they cremated him. They burnt his body.
Greg, was that a stupid question?
No, people
have speculated that before.
What they said about everyone.
You never know because the government could have hit him as a witness.
I'm not hip on the. I don't know that much about the Hoffa story.
Well, he's been missing since like 1975.
No, he was declared dead. He's been declared dead since the 80s.
Before he was shot. First off, he was murdered in his early 60s, so he was around forever. Before then.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't like a guy who was like what they did to Kennedy and the Kennedy brothers.
Oh yeah,
that was kind of fucked up.
Those guys.
Because those guys were, one was the president and the one was going to be president. They were rising stars in this country politically. Right. So that was fucked up. Hoffa lived a long life. He was at the point when they murdered him. He was just a pain in the ass. They had to get rid of him.
He probably knew too much.
And Hoffa was involved in everything. He was involved in the Kennedy murders.
Right.
And the Kennedy murder. What happened was with Frank Sheehan, according to Frank Sheehan, the book, he gave 3 rifles. He met at an airport in Buffalo, I think. Somewhere. I don't know the airport, but he met David Ferry. You know what David Ferry is?
No.
The guy who Joe Pesci plays in JFK.
I never seen JFK.
Never seen JFK?
I didn't see it either.
You never see it, but you know David Ferry, though, right?
I know he's a Southerner.
Yeah. He was like associated politically, like with the mob. He was like I forget exactly.
Oh,
what
he had
was.
weird glasses, look like real 60s, like.
Pesci played him in JFK. That's
I think
I
you're talking
know
about. Yeah.
But he was the one that apparently sold the rifles to Lee Harvey Oswald.
Wow.
So, and Frank Sheehan
is that
claims,
true?
Yeah, that's what they say. That's what he was.
So Lee Harvey Oswald actually was a hired murderer, right? Like he actually, they're saying though that he actually killed JFK.
Yeah,
he was the one who shot the bullet.
I mean,
shot the gun.
From what most people say, I would think he was the guy. I don't know. I haven't done a whole lot of research on this.
Could have been another shooter too, probably, right? You think?
Well, everyone says there's multiple shooters, of course. I think there had to be multiple shooters because he got shot from 3 different angles.
Well, in the movie Full Metal Jacket, they'd be like he shot him. A headshot in the back. I think he got him too, right?
And as far as that, Frank Sheehan sold Ferry the weapons, and then the plane was going to Texas.
Wow,
that's according to Frank Sheehan.
Frank Sheehan sells this guy Ferry,
David Ferry weapons,
right? And those weapons were sold to Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, well, supplied to Lee Harvey.
Probably on planes those days, the gun laws weren't like nothing they are now.
Frank Sheeran also didn't know that was the case. Like, he didn't know. He just was ordered to give this guy Ferry 3 rifles.
Wow.
2 days later, the president is shot. So, and Ferry's connected to the murder.
Wait,
He
hold
had
on.
no idea what was going on.
How was Ferry connected to the murder immediately? Like, what are you talking about?
Because I think they found out he sold the rifles to Lee Harvey Oswald.
Nick Carey's here.
Or supplied them.
So they find out that Lee Harvey Oswald gets arrested, right?
He got arrested the day of.
Okay, right. They find him with the weapons, right?
Right.
Now, Frank Sheeran's at home. He's obviously following the story.
Yeah.
Sees that the weapons that
Well, I think it came out later.
the weapons that killed Kennedy are revealed probably on TV, and he puts two and two together like that. And he just goes, "This guy, Mike Ferry."
No, it came out David Ferry. It came out later that David Ferry was attached to the murders.
Oh, okay.
So, but it just so happened that he sold rifles to David Ferry, or exchanged rifles with David Ferry.
Didn't he shoot him with like an old Italian assault rifle? They said, right? That's what they said in Full Metal
Yeah,
Jacket.
it was.
Right?
I think it was. I mean,
Like a bolt
everyone
action
says the
rifle,
Kennedy hit was a mob. I think the Kennedy murder was a mob hit.
Definitely.
Everyone
You know why?
says it.
Because first of all,
It was a perfect storm. They were all in. They were all fed up with the guy.
First of all, their father was connected to people like that. Number one, right? Joe Kennedy.
Yeah, because he's a bootlegger.
And not only that, what do you call it? He was connected. Not only that, the thing is that like the father was connected to them, and the bottom line is that he, Robert Kennedy, the brother, was trying to prosecute the mob at that
Right,
time.
but weren't they?
But
But weren't they bankrolled? Wasn't JFK's presidential
I think-
campaign bankrolled by the mafia? Is there any truth to that?
Well, because in Chicago, I don't know if it was bankrolled by the mob, but in Chicago, it was a swing state. I think it was mainly Republicans.
Yeah, I think they helped push him in Chicago.
And like Giancana and the Chicago outfit,
they freaked out after
put
that.
money behind Kennedy, and they swayed the vote. And they actually got him elected in Chicago.
Plus, his brother was being an asshole to him.
And then, as soon as Kennedy got in office, he appointed
his brother, right?
Bobby as Kennedy.
They tried to get like an early RICO act done on him.
Right, as the
Stuff
Attorney
like that.
General, he just was like, "I'm going after organized crime," and Jimmy Hoffa.
They were pissed
Everyone
off.
hated them. Hoover hated them. Jimmy Hoffa hated
They
them.
double crossed Chicana and those guys.
The mob hated them.
Joe DiMaggio probably hated them.
Yeah, of course, he didn't.
Arthur Miller probably did. Well,
Yeah, probably him
When
too.
Marilyn Monroe died, DiMaggio kept them all at the funeral.
Right. When
Sinatra,
Marilyn Monroe died, though, her husband was Arthur Miller, right? Wasn't DiMaggio. They
I
had
think
already
she was
divorced.
divorced from DiMaggio.
He was divorced, right?
Right.
She was married 3 times. I think she was married like
Yeah, she was married before Joe, right?
Yeah, she was probably married,
young.
probably some loser, right?
Yeah.
And then she married DiMaggio, and then Arthur Miller, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I know she's married.
I know DiMaggio still had a lot to do with her.
I think he went to visit her.
He was
when
still
she
in
died.
her life.
Yeah.
You have a great story about the DiMaggio, fucking Marilyn Monroe's death, right? With the she says Robert Kennedy was there the day.
Yeah, it's supposedly earlier in the day, or like the day, maybe the night before, Bobby Kennedy visit Marilyn Monroe, and they got into a huge fight. And Marilyn Monroe's neighbor was like, she must be fighting with her husband or whatever. And it was turned out apparently it was Bobby Kennedy.
Whoa.
And there's like a whole big conspiracy. I just don't remember the actual facts of the story. But
There's a documentary, right?
documentary
on YouTube
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the mob definitely took him out because first of all, his brother was going after them, and they double.
The mob took out Bobby Kennedy.
both of them. I'm sure
It was a huge conspiracy. Everyone okayed it, basically.
because I heard like when he died, they were toasting him down in fucking New Orleans. All those guys.
Of course.
Were like, yeah.
Also, I think the Kennedys had probably Marilyn Monroe killed because she was supposed to meet with Sam Giancana.
Oh, yeah.
The next night, right? And Sam Giancana was the head of the Chicago.
He died
outfit.
in his house. They killed him in his bed. It's never been solved.
Who are you talking about?
Giancana died in his basement.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Marilyn Monroe.
Okay, sorry.
Don't jump ahead.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
What I'm saying is,
Oh, okay, sorry.
Marilyn Monroe was supposed to meet with Sam Giancana the next day, right?
Wow.
And expose like the Kennedys and be like they were fucking me, DPing me. Apparently that's the story. Is that the Kennedys fucking Eiffel
She
Tower?
was-
Marilyn Monroe was going to Sam Giancana as a fucking someone that she can rest her head on.
Blackmail.
Is that what you're saying?
Blackmail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what, as a confidant?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought she,
blackmailed him.
there's no better to talk to than a ruthless gangster.
Yeah.
No, but he would be a good friend to have.
Yeah. wait. Also, are you alleging that the Kennedy brothers DP'd?
That's what everyone says. Yeah. They fucked her at the same time.
She was singing "Happy Birthday" to Madison Square Garden.
Which one do you think got the asshole and which one got the pussy? You know?
Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Maybe it was an Eiffel Tower.
You know, I don't talk about the president like that. Okay? Yeah.
The thing is,
weird shit.
All those guys died, right? Like, I think definitely Oswald was definitely a patsy for them. They just took him out.
There's a great story about Joe DiMaggio and Frank Sinatra were at the Ritz-Carlton, right? Whatever the big hotel room was. And they thought they saw Marilyn Monroe walking in with some dude, right? I think it was I remember an actor. I'm trying to think of the actor. But they thought they saw her cheating on Joe DiMaggio,
right?
So Sinatra and Joe DiMaggio were like Sinatra was like fed up, you know, with it, like with her, and he was like, we're gonna go up to the hotel room, we're gonna confront this fucking guy, right? So they go up to the hotel room.
DiMaggio and Sinatra run up to the hotel room. Okay.
Joe DiMaggio and Frank Sinatra go up to the hotel room. They knock on the door. They're just like they're like, get the fuck out. It turns out just some random two people.
Like, how sick is that?
Could you imagine? Yeah, the most famous fucking singer, the most famous athlete. It's like the equivalent of like LeBron James and Drake today.
Yeah,
fucking like knocking on your
somebody.
Yeah, threatening. You're fucking my wife Beyonce, and then
you open the door and it's them.
That's
not. But even like back then, like how odd looking like DiMaggio must have been, right?
Yeah,
he's like opening the door and he's like
giant teeth.
But like because he's probably so recognizable.
He's a pretty big guy physically,
and he's
right?
he's not really. He's kind of
like 6 foot.
But I don't know how to judge athletes from like the '60s or the like '50s and '60s because they're not. They're comparing them to what they are today.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And they're probably not as big, but back then, like my Uncle Phil, right, was around DiMaggio's age, and that guy, he had his back looked like a lowercase N. Right. That's how fucking, he was like just so scrawny. You know, and DiMaggio must have been like fucking pretty jacked for.
Yeah, he probably was in good shape.
Right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, today, guys are much more in better shape. Athletes are much better.
It's not even close.
Right? Because like the guys who played like hockey guys from yesteryear,
right?
They killed buddy guys.
Mike,
today.
every week I make the body list. Every week I fucking come up with 10 names of some guys who have the greatest bodies in sports today.
That's right.
Oh
yeah.
God.
Oh man.
All right, Nancy.
How are you?
Yeah, we had a recording. Yeah.
It's like a guy podcast.
No, zombies here.
They'll let anybody on this thing.
Yeah.
Zombie's a real man.
The best is like because they're like with Mickey Mantle, they're like, oh my god, he was like a man amongst boys the way he was built, but he was like 5'11".
He was 6 foot, but his shoulders, no one was built that way.
Nobody's big in those days. You go back even further back. Like I went to Philadelphia, right, years ago. Like special all those things. People were as high fucking 200 years ago. Nobody's really big, really.
I'm trying to think. Like, there's not.
George Washington,
you have to go back to like the old basketball players, like. Bill Russell was what, like 7? I think he was like 7 foot.
Even you go back to
tall.
the countries, Pete. Like my grandfather's family from Italy, they're all tiny.
It's odd seeing
they're fucking this tall.
Well, Italians are notoriously little.
They're little people.
Yeah, like
they're not like us right now.
No, Italians are just small.
We went there like the giant killers.
Mike, some people would say that I'm very tiny.
You are like a meatball.
I'm like a meatball. Yeah. If I wasn't
if you stand next to
he's tall. How tall are you?
6'3"?
I'm about 6 foot.
Oh, really?
Like just about, yeah.
What are you talking about? You're 6'6".
You know what it is? He isn't that tall. He just stands upright.
That's right. Yeah.
You
do have you're a man with great posture.
It's odd. You know what was weird to see is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? Because he's like what? He's probably in his 70s now.
Yeah.
And he's very tall.
I do like a tall old man.
It's weird seeing tall older men. We did a show on Friday night with that black guy that came in, right?
Yeah.
He was tall as shit.
Tall guy.
He was like 6'6", and I don't see that. And he was old. You know,
he has sclerosis.
He must have been 65, 66
So
years old.
he shrunk. Then you mean if he was
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, he was still 6'6".
My grandmother was 4'10", right?
Wow.
That's how tall she was. By the end of her life, she was literally like 4'6".
Yeah, she was down to the floor.
Yeah, she was so little.
Mike, one time I stepped over her.
Are you serious? Did she freak?
Yeah, I came home drunk one night. Fucking stepped over her.
You guys laughing? I mean, that would freak me out. Like, my brother got my grandmother pissed one time in her house. She tried to scare him, but some bullshit ghost story.
Right.
He took her slipper and fucking wailed it against the bookcase.
Wait,
Broke the window. She kicked his ass in.
Your grandmother hit you?
No, she kicked my brother's ass in.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, yeah.
She had like this antique bookcase, right? And he wouldn't behave.
Right.
So she shut the lights off and was like trying to make believe she was a ghost. And he grabbed the slipper on the floor and wailed it at the antique bookcase. It just went right through the window. She kicked the crap out of him.
That's fucking. I'm not gonna lie. That's horrible.
I know.
It's horrifying.
Nightmares now.
No, I'm kidding, Mike. Kidding.
Yeah, but you guys.
How old was? Wait, how? So your grandmother must have been like what? Born in what year?
1918.
Really? So actually, my grandmother was older than yours. My grandmother was born in 1916. See, I got you beat, Mike.
Oh, my grandfather was born 1914.
Yeah.
He died.
So there you go.
1950.
And look how much.
Zombie. Who's your grandmother?
When was my grandmother born?
She's probably born in like 1890, but still alive because the Thompson family bloodline
It's
is
a strong
pure.
bloodline. He comes from one of those like
I'm not sure,
blue
man.
blood type families.
Yeah.
I have no idea when my grandmother
Yeah,
was
but
born.
what's even sicker is
Tell them you're royalty. Tell the people.
I'm royalty.
Are you Viking?
No.
I wasn't sure, really, right? Viking? I love the Vikings. They're badass, man. I binge watched the Vikings. The miniseries was great.
You like that? Yeah.
I liked it, but they were like
The miniseries. What is that? The
like
4
three-
weeks.
it's like
done
Oh,
on the
I mean
NFL?
on
Like-
Netflix. I'm sorry.
There's like 4 seasons or something.
No, like it was like I binge watched on Netflix. I love the Vikings.
What are they?
They're
They're in the NFC South, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Right, the NFC South. And the last year they went to the champion. They didn't go to the Super Bowl. The series before the Super Bowl, right? They went to the championship series.
I don't understand what's going on.
NFC Championship
What's going on with the Vikings?
I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what's
I have
super
no idea.
crazy, right?
What do you mean?
My uncle was born 1918, right?
Right.
His daughter was born 1961. That's my age. Her grandparents were born in the 1870s. How crazy is that? My great-grandfather. How fucking sick is that? I'm a grandparent born
Probably
in
it's the same
78.
thing. Yeah, probably.
Pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Sick.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, but
Sick, bro.
that bitch she called you bro. You should have freaked out and said fucking Peppermint
Right.
Patty fucking...
Do you remember when grandmothers were ugly though? Like remember when grandmothers would walk around?
You guys ever taste it back in the wooden spoon?
My grandmother.
I hit with a metal
Yeah,
spoon.
these
Oh,
grandmothers.
really? Yes, alumni.
You got hit with a metal spoon.
Yeah. Well, my mother used to beat me with a metal spoon.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Did you guys ever taste it back in the wooden spoon with sauce on it?
We didn't use wood in our house. It broke too easy.
Only on Sundays, Mike. Really?
That's weird. There's plenty of wood in that house. You know, with zombies.
Yeah, I'm always waxing it.
You got beat up with a wooden spoon? Really?
Metal spoon.
Metal spoon.
Well, metal's
Yeah,
even
metal
10 times worse.
Oh my
Wow.
God! What is it, a teaspoon?
My mom was the enforcer in the house. My dad didn't do the dirty work.
Right.
He sent her out to work us all.
You know what it is? I'm from the generation. If my parents laid a hand on me, I'll be calling child services
you're
myself.
so lucky because I taste the back of a wooden spoon and you could go, child services, come and get
Kidding
them.
me?
That was like the first lesson we had, like in first grade. Like literally, some guy, person from social.
This guy
social
walks in.
service.
Remember, you ever see the Remember the Poltergeist movie? That was the third one.
I think, yeah.
Remember the old man, the really old guy, like the crypt keeper looking guy. That guy spoke to us like in the first. Not him, not the actor, but the guy looked just like him. Right? This like ridiculously old man. You know, PS52.
Oh, God.
Right?
Yeah, like Mr. Galen?
No, I wasn't Mr. Galen, even though he looked like. I remember him looking like Mr. Galen. Like he had an old school
Yeah, but,
look.
see,
Yeah.
but we couldn't even call anybody. We could only call grandma to
Well,
save us.
we were encouraged. Like if your parents are like abusing you, you have to go. They give you like a fucking number to call.
Wow.
I don't rat.
No.
I don't rat.
We had nobody to call because if we went to call somebody, our fucking fingers would be slammed on their phone.
Yeah,
And that's why some guy from social services told us.
No, but you guys are lucky because, like, you guys would get a timeout. We'd get a fucking ass kicking. Really.
Nah, I never got time.
Nah, I don't get timeouts. You met my parents. They're not the type of people to like go in the corner and think about it.
Yeah. You got to yell at kids. You ever yell at kid, Mike? You've been around a long time.
I had to yell at my niece one time.
You yelled at her?
She's like 6 years old, and I never yelled at her.
If I was like a teacher, if I taught kids, I'd be yelling at them all day.
I don't like to yell.
I love it.
At all.
I love it. I don't
want to damage the
I would be that teacher that would lose his shit on the kids.
I'd scream at kids.
Like just like lose it, like screaming at the kids. That's that.
Right. I forgot. Nancy, you're a teacher. You yell at the kids all the time, right?
Yeah, once in a while.
I don't like to yell at kids.
I
You gotta yell at them.
I would love it.
There are times though they get offended. You know, that offends me.
Yeah.
You know, so it's honestly, no.
Don't worry about it. You scream at those kids. Zombie, you're a custodian, so you yell at the kids. They probably yell at you.
Oh, yeah. Well, they hear me. I can't yell at them.
Have you ever yelled at them?
No.
Why?
Because I get fired.
You're like the nasty custodian guy.
Well, if I could be, I would.
There was a custodian in my middle school that was very nasty to me.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, I forget what I did, but like he just screamed at me, and I never forgot it.
My dad was a custodian.
He's the one who got away.
Was that what happened?
My dad was a custodian on Staten Island.
Yeah.
He used to be at Tottenham High School.
Right.
He would be smoking pot with the kids.
So you look at that.
Don't do that, Zombie.
No, that's right. So yeah, you never when you yelled at your niece, like what'd you yell about? Come on,
She was like,
give us an
running
example.
across the street, and I was like,
Oh.
"Get the fuck over here!"
Yeah, but
That's not what we're talking about. That's like
you being a panicky piece. She was probably running away from
No,
you.
but I'm panicky Pete. I was like, "Get the fuck over here!"
Nah, that doesn't count.
That's you being a good uncle.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Looking
yelling,
out for
like
his safety.
hey, don't do that. Like
But I
that.
still yelled, but I felt bad about it though.
Yeah, but that's not.
Yeah, but you're just looking out for
I mean,
them.
like
things
really
like-
yelling.
That's not yelling like fucking like.
But they like to heckle me though. My nieces, when they were young, they'd be like, "Look at fat old man Uncle Mike."
Your nieces and audience have something in common.
Oh, you bastard!
No, you're.
No, that's not the same thing as like when you yell at a kid, right?
Really,
and
yeah.
they're annoying you, and you lose your patience.
No, I let them annoy the life out of me.
That's
I really
not
didn't care.
losing your patience. That was protecting them,
Right,
You know,
right.
I'm
I
talking
let
about.
them annoy the life out of me because they love picking at me like, look at Uncle Fat Belly did. So you think he's got to be like, Uncle Fat Belly.
Jesus.
I lose my shit.
I would that would be like, you don't call me that. Right?
I yelled at one of my one of my cousins, right, and it was at one of the Christmases, and he was just annoying me. Just couldn't I couldn't stop. He just couldn't stop talking, and I was like, listen, go to your parents. Get out of here. But that wasn't really yelling. That was being stern.
Yeah.
And he still didn't walk away.
Also, you sound like a fucking Italian butcher.
Yeah, but you know what? Though he could say, "I'm calling child services on him now."
We were doing Mike.
They live in Pennsylvania.
Okay, yeah, nobody.
Mike, we were doing a show in Jersey, and for an Italian family who was like a 60th birthday or some shit.
50th birthday.
50th birthday, and during the show, there was a little kid in the middle of the room playing with a fucking toy car.
Oh no!
One of those remote control toy trucks.
Yeah, like one of those,
And the kid is just so obnoxious. Pat Haggerty was the host.
Oh no! Did Pat hammer him?
Yeah, well, well, why would he? You know, he's fucking doing crowd work at the kid.
I was like, when we were kids, like when I was younger, like, and I was at a party with my, like a family party, and sometimes they would have like an adult thing going on. Who knows? I don't know what the fuck it was. Could have been a stripper. Who knows? I don't know. But they would take the kids, and you would leave the room. You go into a separate room, right?
Absolutely.
That's what I thought they would do with all the kids. But they had and they were like, yeah, curse, don't worry about it. I'm like, I'm fucking, you're saying heinous shit in front of these kids.
Right.
So, I mean, I didn't care because the kid was such a little shit. Know his name was? Napoleon.
No, Mateo.
Are you serious, Napoleon?
Mateo Napoleon. Doesn't matter.
His name could have been Caligula. That's fucking
I remembered his name, though.
Fucking autistic.
Nero Caligula.
So this fucking kid is just he's going back and forth, and Pat during Pat's act, he's like, he's being like a cute little fucking kid. They're like, oh, look at the kid, it's like fucking get someone. Where's the kid's parents?
Somebody shut Rasputin up over there.
And Sal goes up.
If I was his parent, I'd grab the kid by the neck.
Right.
Throw him into a room.
You're being disrespectful.
Get out of here.
So what happened was,
Get out of here.
wait a second. So what happened was, because during Sal's set, the kid was still going, and Sal's just like viciously cursing up a storm. He was extra filthy that night. And then we go up, and I wasn't having the best set.
Was he laughing, the kid, though? He was giving you guys a hard time.
I wasn't paying
The
attention.
kid was like fucking 4. Like he just, you don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
The parents should have
But what happened was
taken him.
Right, that's what I said. I was like, who's the parents of this kid? And it was like, yeah, isn't he cute? It's like, no, he fucking stinks. Get rid of him. He shit his pants. Come on. So what happened was he was playing with the toy truck during our set, right? And the truck weaseled his way to where we were standing because there was no stage, but we were standing like a room like this. So what I did was I kicked the toy truck.
Oh, no.
I kicked it.
Did he see you do it? Or
Nobody knows. I think I was the only person to notice. I was standing next to him in the middle of telling. I think I was in the middle of a joke, and I happened to look down, and I noticed the truck coming toward us, and I happened to look down, and I just see Greg literally kick the truck.
Did he cry his ass off?
The kid didn't
notice. He probably
didn't notice.
ADD,
The truck just went back to the kid.
And
then he went up. Because then they do like a joke contest at the end of these things.
That sucks. I've been to that.
And
right between you guys or afterwards?
After
the
show.
Does a joke contest after the show.
Oh, Pat does it?
It's something we do. Like we got it from Joe Pally for his Irish Haven show.
But that's different though. People get civilians in the audience.
The audience.
Sorry, guys.
Wow.
That's why I warned you guys.
we do an audience participation sort of thing. It's nice, usually after these shows. So we did that there, and I told Pat not to do it because they were scumbag audience.
But you weren't going to go get it, right?
Well, a few guys were like, "Oh, fucking do it," and then they go up and like they say some fucking hacky racist joke, and then Pat gave the kid, this little kid, Napoleon.
He was prompted, like the kid. The little kid, the 4-year-old, was prompted by some adult. Some dummy picks him up and he's like, "Go up there, go tell some jokes." So fucking Pat gives him the microphone.
Oh no!
Listen, if I'm hosting, I'm like, listen,
I ain't giving that.
This is for adults. You don't give the fucking kid the microphone. But whatever. Pat gives him the microphone. He's a little more. He's probably a little easier to talk to. Like Pat, than someone like us. If we were hosting, I don't think they would give the kid the microphone either way. But Pat's very,
certain guys would get the microphone.
Fucking, I'm the kind of guy that you fucking keep your kid away from.
Me too.
You don't. Right. I'm not. But Pat's like a friendly little guy, so they give him the fucking gives the fucking kid the microphone. We got to sit through 10 minutes of the kid telling the same joke.
Oh no!
Same joke. The punchline was how he pooped his pants, and it was every fucking. It was. He would keep getting the microphone, and he would do one of those things where he just keeps beating a dead horse. And then we're there, and it's like 5 to 10 minutes, and I'm like, I finally look at Pat. I'm like, dude, you gotta take the fucking microphone from this kid.
Pat's trying to get the mic, and the kid's not giving up the mic, and then it's getting even more cuter.
Yeah,
because now they're just like, he doesn't want to give up the mic.
What a nightmare!
Fucking. It was like sitting through Duke was 30 minutes.
How far away? This place is in Pennsylvania. You said?
Nah, it was in Jersey. It was Matawan or whatever.
Wow.
Was it matter? No,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's the same shit.
No, Greg, it was Napoleon, New Jersey. How about that?
It doesn't matter.
It's a fucking great fake name.
Fact checked it, man.
That's whatever.
Fucking guy.
That's horrible. This fucking happened to you guys,
right?
What was it, like an 8-hour show?
Well, that wasn't that horrible. I got paid.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That's horrible. Having the zombie. The guy got beat with a metal spoon.
So what'd you do? What happened? Why'd you get beat up with a metal spoon? This happened all the time.
So I talk back to my parents.
You?
Yeah. Yeah, I used to be
like fucking retarded.
Zombie was doing a podcast with his parents.
My grandmother.
What's the worst thing you would say?
I don't even remember. Just
come on.
I don't know.
Give me the goods. Give me the juice.
One time they made him do the Home Alone face and he didn't do it correctly, and
they beat him until I got it right.
They beat him. They beat him until he doesn't look like Macaulay Culkin anymore.
Yeah, Mike. Zombie thinks he looks like Macaulay Culkin.
Yes, he does. No, he really does.
He does not look like Macaulay.
No, but yes, he definitely does.
He looks like Bill Parcells.
He looks like Culkin.
Look like Macaulay.
Like a young Bill Parcells.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nothing like Macaulay Culkin.
Doesn't look like Macaulay Culkin.
How much time we do?
You do because
we're at 53 minutes.
53. Oh, we got to wrap up.
Yeah, but how old is he?
Culkin?
Yeah.
He's probably. I think he's born 1983, so he's probably.
If he's
36.
Yeah, he's probably the same
up
age as
there
me
now.
then.
Right. But how old are you though?
I'm 35.
You really think
you do look like him? I swear to
he
God.
He doesn't look like him.
Maybe a little bit heavier than him, but he's him.
Who are you talking? Like, are you talking about like Macaulay Culkin when he was a kid?
No, but an older version.
Because now Macaulay Culkin doesn't look anything like he looked.
No, John looks a lot better than him. Macaulay looks like a fucking skelly drug addict now.
I wouldn't go with that.
I don't think.
I still think Macaulay Culkin's a better looking man.
No. John looks like him. I swear to God, I see it.
I don't see it.
I wish I looked like Joe Pesci. I'm going to be picked on. Probably right.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, Joe.
Just
all right, Joe. Can you come on the show real quick? Come and say hello to people.
Hey, Joe.
Talk to the people.
Come here.
Talk to the nice people.
Yeah. Mike, give me your mic for 1 second.
Just give him.
Hello, listeners. How are you?
All right, that's the show.
That's our show. All right.
Hear that? That's the sweet sound of Minute Maid slushies at McDonald's, turning up your summer with every sip, slurp, and ah.
Get a small sweet peach, blue raspberry, or fruit punch slushie for just $2. Or get any size soft drink for $1. Price and participation may vary. Limited time only. Cannot be combined with combo meal.
The internet can be your window to the world, or an open door that lets cyber criminals in. Online theft, webcam spying, and identity fraud are all on the rise. But you can stay safe with Kaspersky Lab, the world's most awarded internet security. Kaspersky protects your money, privacy, identity, and data with technology perfected over 20 years. So keep exploring. Kaspersky Lab will keep you safe online. Learn more at Kaspersky.com.